Welcome back, guys. Today I am cooking you a steak baguette. Well, technically I'm eating it, so I'm cooking me the steak baguette. Well, stay tuned. So before we make the steak baguette, we're going to make a quick coleslaw. And normally you would see the coleslaw you'd make it with a white cabbage, white onion. I'm using a Savoy cabbage and I'm using a red onion. So we'll just get started. A lot of people also they'll throw out the green, whereas the green gives the best colour and it still tastes perfectly fine. All you have to do is give it a quick wash. So I'm just going to take probably 3 leaves, more than enough. Removing the core. It's always handy to have a little bin for all your scraps. So give this a little wash in the sink. So I'm going to start off with 1 carrot and then see if I need any more. I'm going to take the top off, I'm going to take the tail off as well, and then just peel away. So using the red onion is going to help to give a lot more colour to the coleslaw. Personal opinion, coleslaw that's been hand sliced is 10 times better than coleslaw that's been made through a cheese grater. So I've been making this coleslaw recipe for years. It is always a winner. Everyone always loves how good it is. So when you're cutting your cabbage, you want to pile it all up together and then it'll be a lot faster to cut. So just like the carrot and the red onion, you want to make sure that you get the cabbage as fine as possible. Personally, I love coleslaw, but I don't like it when it's too chunky. So all we have left to do now for the coleslaw is to add in the zest of 1 lemon. I'm going to add in some whole grain mustard and the mayonnaise, and this is going to give a good mix, season, and we're good to go. So once you've zested in the lemon, don't bin it because we can use that for something else. So next in goes our whole grain mustard. With the mayonnaise. So we don't want to add in too much mayonnaise too soon. We'll just give it a mix and then we can see if it needs any more. Okay, now that we're done with the coleslaw, we can move on to the steak baguette itself. So last night I made a beef stroganoff, and with the beef that's left over, it's just a frying steak. I'm going to use that for my steak baguette. So I've got a nice hot pan here. I'm going to season my meat. Make sure we do both sides. And then we're going to oil the meat, not the pan. The pan's nice and hot, we're ready to add it in. So I'm only letting the steak cook for 30 seconds each side because it's going to go back in the frying pan in a couple of minutes. The next step while that rests is we're going to cook off some onions and some peppers. So I only really need 1/4 of 1 pepper. The rest we can use for something else. And the same with the onion, we don't need a whole onion for 1 person, just need a little. So to cook the onions and peppers, I'm going to use the same pan I used the steak. It's got a little bit of oil in it, but I'm going to add in a touch of butter. Then I'm going to add in my peppers and my onions, salt, and pepper. So I've got a tiger loaf. I'm going to split it down the middle, a little oil, and then put it on the stove. So a little oil on each side of the baguette. Give that a good mix in. So once we've got a little oil on our baguette, we're going to put it on the stove. So that's the baguette cooked. All we have to do now is slice up the steak, add it back to the pan, and then we're going to add in a little bit of sauce. So when cutting a steak, or any meat for that matter, you always want to cut against the grain. So if all the lines are running along the way, you're going to cut down the way. And what that's going to do is going to make it a lot more tender. So in goes the meat. Once the steak's had maybe 30 seconds or so, we're going to add in our sauce. And I'm using some sweet chilli sauce and some soy sauce. takes really 30 seconds. Once it's in the pan, we're ready to start building the baguette. I've got some tomatoes, some lettuce, and some Dijon mustard, and some cheese. There you have it, cheese steak and coleslaw. Hope you enjoyed that steak baguette. Make sure you check out the description below for the full recipe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.